I think we're live now. So hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I'm super happy to have you today. I'm Guillaume, the co-founder and CEO of Waalaxy. Today, I'm going to give you an overview of the tool, what are those capabilities that the tool have, and also I'll show you the best practices that you should know if you want to make the most out of Waalaxy. So what is Waalaxy? For those of you who are not really aware of what is Waalaxy, Waalaxy is a software, it's a Chrome extension that allows you to automate your sales prospecting both on LinkedIn and via email. Today, so first we'll show you everything I've just said, and also we will answer all of your questions that you might have along the way. Don't hesitate to ask those questions via the chat. And of course, we'll have a small word on our big promotion, big offer, the Black Thursday offer that comes in about 2 days. We're super excited to celebrate our 3rd year anniversary. So let's get started. So who is Waalaxy made for? Basically, Waalaxy allows you to contact people. Yes, so there's a wide variety of use cases. Of course, you can want to contact people to sell something, either a product or a service, but you might also want to contact people for recruitment purposes. So if you're a hiring manager, for example, a recruiter. There's also different use cases that usually people are not really aware of, but for example, in our case, we use it to recruit people or communicate with people for our upcoming webinars. We also use it internally for product discovery purposes. So we reach out to our customers and users to offer them an interview to understand their needs and make sure the product fits those needs. You can use it to conduct market studies, even for finding a job. In the end, there's really an endless number of use cases. But for today, we will focus on the sales prospecting approach. So the very first step, I'm going to share my screen and walk through the very first step that you need to master, namely your LinkedIn profile. It may sound stupid, but the very first touch points your prospects will face is your profile, so your LinkedIn profile. This should be thought as your sort of your personal landing page. So you want to have a clear statement of what you're doing, and you want to have a professional picture, maybe some call to action to contact you or book a call via Calendly, for example. I won't go into much details here. We have an article that explains everything about it that we will link via the chat. But for our fictional use case, we're going to be a wealth manager whose value proposition is to optimize the optimize taxes for wealthy people. And so I will start with this use case. When you do sales prospecting, you basically have 2 components that will determine the success of your campaigns. And those 2 components are first your segmentation, namely your ability to find relevant prospects or people that will have the pain that you solve, and your what we call your copywriting skills. So your ability to craft a message that will transform, that will state your value proposition clearly, and that will basically make your prospects answer and book calls, etc. And on those 2 aspects, those 2 components, there's one that is way more important than the other, and it's your segmentation. I always say that if you have a great segmentation but a poor copywriting, you will still have some pretty decent results, because if you send an okay message to people that really suffer and really have your problem, that will have a problem for which you have a solution, sorry, you will still have quite a lot of people that will be interested, but the contrary is not true. If you have a perfect message, great copywriting skills, but you send this message to people that don't really have the problem you're fixing, then you'll have zero results. So it's super important to spend quite some time on the segmentation part if you want to optimize your campaign. So how does Waalaxy work? Waalaxy allows you to import prospect from LinkedIn and have them on Waalaxy. So there's two ways actually you can import prospects. The first one is from LinkedIn, and Waalaxy works with every type of LinkedIn subscription, the free one, the Sales Navigator, the Recruiter, etc. We highly recommend the use of the Sales Navigator, though. I will go to the Sales Nav right now. Because it's a way more powerful tool than the standard LinkedIn search. It's quite normal if you think about it, because what is the Sales Navigator? The Sales Navigator is basically an improved search results. It's basically nothing more than that, apart from a small features. And LinkedIn doesn't really have an incentive to optimize their free search feature, so they make everything happens on the Sales Navigator. And as we've just said, as we've just seen, the segmentation is super important. And on the Sales Navigator, you have more precise results. You also have access to more filters, so it allows you to better segment your searches. In our case, we're going to think, okay, who is my persona? Who is going to might be interested with the solution we have? So basically, we are going to think who is going to earn quite a lot of money. In our case, we're going to take the business developer in New York City. And so you click here. The quick words on the thing you need to know about the Sales Navigator. The Sales Navigator allows you to retrieve a maximum of 2,500 prospects overall. Even if your search results have like millions of results, you'll only be able to retrieve the first 2,500 prospects, because you always have a maximum of 100 pages and there's only 25 prospects per page. So what this means is that you should always make sure you don't exceed the 2,500 thresholds, because otherwise you will just be losing prospects. And so in order to do that, you add more excluding filters. For example, first you segment your prospects that works in New York City, then you take those that works in LA, and etc. You see here, there's a search keywords. You should never use the search keywords. It's way more imprecise. What you want to look for is the job title, and it's the current job title here. You want to use quotation mark to make sure there's exactly the people that are business developer and not, for example, full stack developer, which might be some results if you don't use those quotation mark. Then you use the geography area, current company, IKEA, no. Here you want to focus on New York. New York, maybe like this. Yes. You can also exclude, use the excluding filters. So for the sake of the demo, I will not perform this import, but if you want to import those prospects, you just click here, you select a list, and you select the number of prospects you want to import. So this is the first way to import prospects. In our case, okay, just refresh the page. Yes. In our case, let me switch to English. So in our case, we've performed this import before, and it's BizDev NYC that you can just see here. The second way to import prospects is what we call the AI Prospect Finder that you will find right here. And what the AI Prospect Finder allows you to do is it allows you to look for similar prospects and just find relevant prospects that are similar to those you selected. So for example, I select a list of a minimum 10 prospects, but we're actually working on an improvement of a feature that will allow you to select only one prospect. Once you've selected your 10 prospects, you select AI Prospect Finder, you select the number of prospects you want to find, you just launch the AI, and the AI do its magic. It's importing the prospects. It's important to note that we never import prospects that are already in Waalaxy, in your Waalaxy account. So you can take this feature and take this advantage of this feature to create a blacklist. For example, you might have use cases where you don't want to contact, let's say, maybe your competitors or maybe your current client base. So you just have to import your current client base into a list, so into a blacklist, for example. And then we will never import those prospects again because those people are already on Waalaxy, on your Waalaxy account. So this is basically, and yes, another feature that you can use that is quite important that we've released recently is the ability to clean your list. It's just right here. It basically will take, so in our case, business developer. So it will automatically exclude all the people that are not relevant. So if I'm looking for business developer, I click on verify my list, and then it will offer you to clean the prospects that are not relevant. Because sometimes, even with the sales navigator, you have false positive, and you can see here 25 false positive detected. And you can decide to clean your list, and it will automatically delete those prospects that are not relevant for you today. Now that we've seen how to import prospects, both via LinkedIn and via the AI Prospect Finder, we're going to see the next step, which is to launch a campaign. To launch a campaign, it's quite simple. You select your prospects from the list, you click on Start a Campaign, and then you'll have our quick launch. So this is basically the sequences that we recommend. But then you also have a list of other sequences that I will present to you just after it. What you should remember is that even though we offer a very wide variety of different sequences, usually what works is what's simple. And what you need to bear in mind is that our statistical studies have shown that the best results are where you have 3 touch points. So basically you have an invitation with a note plus 2 messages. If you send more touch points than that, it will only be spam, and you might have, people that are not happy with what you're doing, etc. And if you send less touch points, or let's say you just send 1 message, for example, you'll be missing out on a lot of opportunities. So we recommend 3 touch points. A small note right here, recently LinkedIn has changed its policy, and you now need to have a premium account in order to be able to send LinkedIn notes. And I know it's painful, I know it's costly, but you should absolutely take a subscription in order to be able to send notes. Why? Because usually your acceptance rates will vary between 50% and 30%. So it means that you'll have, if you don't send a note within your invitation, you'll basically have between 50% and 70% of your prospects that will never see your value proposition. So you'll be missing out on a lot of opportunities. So that's something we really recommend you to do. By the way, I just forgot, but for the Sales Navigator, if it's too costly for you, there's a way you can use it without paying for it. We'll send you the chat an article that explain it all, but basically we'll make the most out of you the 30 days free trial. Then within that free trial, you will do all of your imports, and then you'll have tens of thousands of prospects in order to do your sales prospecting for the next 12 months. And then in 12 months time, you'll just have to create another new account and take a free Sales Navigator for a month, and etc., and repeat the process. So now we're going to use the invitation plus 2 messages sequence. And so here you can name your campaign. We've just said we want to add a note. Now we're at the copywriting part. There's 2 ways you can create your messages. The first is using the old way. So you know all of the best practices of how to write a proper message. So you're going to write your message. And the other possibility is to use Waami, our AI assistant that allows you to craft a message. And I will just show you Waami, which is still in a private beta for now. But I will just show you that just after. So what you need to know in terms of the best practices of copywriting, I think the best advice I can give is to place yourselves in the shoes of your prospects. You have, I personally receive dozens and dozens of messages on LinkedIn every day, and I don't really read them because they all look the same, and they're not original, they're not catchy. And so the very first thing you need to ask yourself is, so craft your message and then ask yourself, if I were a prospect and I would receive this message, first, would I read it? And then would I answer it? It's super important. And so you have a small list that you can see here of things you need to bear in mind. So use a first name variable. Always stay below the 300 characters or maximum 500 characters. Long messages are boring and people usually don't even read them, so it's pointless. Don't use, sincerely, best regards, stating your first name and your last name. It's already written on the page, obviously, so you don't need to add this. You will just be wasting characters that are so precious to convey your messages. And don't use the pronoun I or we too often. So that's for the small, small tips. And now in terms of the structure that you need to have, it's very simple. First, we have what we call the hook. So it's a small phrase whose goal is only for your prospects to read your message. So it's really something that is going to catch their attention, something that is that is something they're not usually seeing on LinkedIn, or that really resonate with them, and that's why it's super important to have a proper segmentation. And so you have identified a target that really have a pain, and you're going to state this pain within the first sentence, so that the person she understands why you're contacting her. It's really clear. And so maximum one sentence. I personally like to use a quotation marks or something that is formulate as a question, but it's not 100% necessary. It's more personal preferences. I find it more engaging when you have a question. So that's the first part. The second part is your value proposition. So basically, why why you're the best company, the best person to work with. Don't state like the 10 best reasons. Only take the best reason, or maybe the 2 best reasons why you're the best company to work with. And then third part and last part, what we call the call to action. So basically something like a way out for your prospect if she's interested in your service. So it can be a Calendly link, it can be an incitation to answer to the message, it can be a link to your webpage, whatever. So in our case, what we have, invitation note here. We say, hello, first name. Have you ever considered the possibility that you might be paying too much in taxes? That's what most business developers say. After a year with me, they've saved an average of 6K, through an ultra efficient and 100% legal tax strategy. Should we talk about it? So you see, you have the proper structure. Okay, now we're going to. Sorry. You have the possibility to edit the delay between the invitation and the message. And now you're going to craft your message. So now you've stated the, everything about the proposition, the call to action within your invitation. The follow-up message, what we call the follow-up message, is a message that will take exactly the same structure, but you will just use another call to action, another hook, and another value proposition, and you'll just try another approach with a different argument, different value proposition, So here we say 5 years ago, I discovered that 90% of business developers who were paying over 10K in taxes per year had never engaged in tax optimization. Yet, with a straightforward method, my clients are saving an average of 6K annually and over 10K for some. With this free simulator, you can estimate your potential savings, and then you have a link to your free simulator. Give it a try and get back to me if you'd like to discuss further. Also important to notice, if you can mention what we call what you call social proof. It's great. It's really something that you can add. And also, if you have some sort of free audit or free tool, people are really usually they love free things. So if you can do that in your message, it's also quite powerful. So I don't know why I can't go to the next message. Okay. Okay, and then in your last message, you'll have what we call the last chance follow-up. So a last chance follow-up is basically a way we're going to change the strategy all over, and this time we've presented our value proposition already 2 times. It didn't really work, so so here is the first message. And so here we're going to try another approach, a very different approach, and we call it the last chance follow-up because here what you want to optimize is the answer rate. You really want people to answer your message, and so you're going to break the pattern. You're going to sometimes use a sense of humor or be provocating, dividing overall. And you really want a clear yes or a clear no, but you really want to go for an answer, either a positive one or a negative one. And so here we say, I haven't heard back from you. I see 4 possibilities. First, you're among the 3% of VP of sales who've already optimized their taxes. Kudos. You're not interested in saving money. I'd be curious to know why. You haven't had a chance to check yet, but after trying the simulator, just 3 minutes and seeing you could save 6K a year, you'll be in touch. Answer D. What are your thoughts? And there you go. This is the last chance follow-up. Now we're going to see what we can do with our AI assistant, Waami, which is just right here. I think we'll share via the chat a link that will give you access to the feature, but for now it's still in private beta. We're trying to get as much feedback from our users as we can, and we will release the feature to everyone, including the free users, once we have a clear yes from our users, a clear yes, we love this feature, we love the messages it creates, but until we don't have this type of answers, we will still be iterating on the feature. So what it does, you select the language in which you want to write your message. You select your target. So in our case, we want to target business developer. You select your value proposition. So in our case, I allow my clients to save money on taxes. And differentiating factor, let's say I'm paid only if I save my clients money. And the call to action will be, let's say, a Calendly link. And now you can generate your message. So let's see what it says. It says, hi, first name, struggling to maximize financial savings for your clients. I specialize in strategic tax solutions that can significantly boost your clients' financial savings. What sets me apart? I'm only compensated for the savings I generate for your clients. I propose we discuss more over a call. Here is my calendar link, and you can here insert your link. If you're not happy with the message, you can just go back here. You already have all the information and then regenerate a message. And you see, so we have the same here, struggling to maximize financial savings for our clients, but then we have another way of stating our value proposition. I provide strategic tax solution tailored to boost your clients' financial gains. Uniquely, I'm only compensated for the savings I generate. So you can iterate on the message until you get the message that you like. And once you're done with it, you arrive here and you just have to launch your campaign. For the sake of the demo, I will not launch the campaign, but you have to bear in mind the goal of the tool is to contact people, so have the people answer your messages. So people that answer your messages will always and automatically exit the campaign, so they do not receive additional messages. So yes, that's it for the campaign. I just want to present you another use case, which will allow me to introduce a feature that we have that's called Email Finder. And so the Email Finder is a feature that allows to retrieve the professional emails of your prospects. And it basically allows you to perform multi-channel. So you can just select prospects and click here and just do an Email Finder campaign, and it will allow you to get their email. But you can actually use this feature to do what we call multi-channel prospecting. And so let's say you want to contact people on LinkedIn, but if they don't accept your invitation, which, as we've just said, happens more often than not, then you still want to have a way to contact those people. And this way is, for example, so you click on Browse Sequence, you will have access to all of our sequences. And so, for example, you can look for the Saturn sequence, and the Saturn sequence and its different variations allows you to send an invitation and then send a series of messages if the person has accepted. But also, if the person has not accepted your invitation after a certain period of time, you will be able to find their email and then send them an email, so you make sure you maximize your chances of actually contacting this person. So this is quite powerful, and usually our users are not really aware of this feature, so we really recommend the use of it. And also obviously you can automatically synchronize your data with your favorite CRM. Actually, only HubSpot for now, but we're going to implement the next CRM in the coming months. If you're in a hurry, you can still use Zapier, that allows you to send your data, your prospects data, into all of the CRMs, but it might be sometimes quite tricky to use for people that are not really savvy on the use of Zapier and Integromat and etc. So we're going to also have the native integration for all of the CRM, but for now it's just with HubSpot. Okay, now we're going to see the inbox. So the inbox feature of Waalaxy. The inbox feature is basically the LinkedIn messaging, but improved. Improved by quite a lot of features that are not existing on the standard LinkedIn messaging. For example, you have the possibility to tag prospects. So, if you want to use tags for sorting your prospects, it can be quite handy. And obviously those tags are synced with Waalaxy. So if you tag people on the inbox, that will be automatically tagged on Waalaxy and vice versa. You can create saved replies and use them afterwards. So here I can have a saved replies for the Calendly link. You can see I retrieve the first name automatically. Hi, Christine, great. Here's my Calendly to schedule a meeting. And this is super powerful when you have to handle quite a lot of different people every day. When you do heavy sales prospecting, you have lots of answers from your prospects. And usually you tend to have similar objections, so similar types of answers you want to provide your prospects. And it's super comfortable to just have the proper answer already written, and you just can send it at a click of a button. You can also program message. If you want to program a message for the future, send later, then write your message, and then select exactly when you want to send the message, and the message will automatically be sent. And last, you have the remind me feature, which works like a snooze feature. So for example, if you have someone that is asking for something and you just don't have the time right now, just remind me, let's say tomorrow or next Monday, and then the conversation will disappear and it will automatically pop at the top of your conversation next Monday. We also have a bunch of different filters that you can use. There are some that are still in development today, so we're going to release them in the coming months. And yeah, that's about it for the inbox feature. And last but not least, the team feature. So what is the team feature? The team feature is basically a way for you to gather all of your accounts within a single subscription. And you have different advantages doing this. The first is that you are able to have an anti-duplicate security within the whole account. So let's say you have a team of 10 salespeople that each have their prospects and they don't want to share prospects. They want to make sure when they're importing prospects, those prospects are not already existing in another member, Waalaxy, for example. So that's something you can make possible. You can also delete the duplicates that might be pre-existing before you create the team within the team members. You can monitor every one campaign. So here I'm Will Russell, for example, and I can go on yen and more accounts, just right here, access the app, and then I'm on the app. Here, the account is not synced, so I cannot navigate. But if the account is synced, you can navigate within the account, and you can basically set up all the campaigns and do all the work for a single person can do all the work. Let me just reopen it. And another feature that you can have from the Sales Navigator, the team feature, is the ability, namely the Sales Navigator, to have only one Sales Navigator subscription for the whole team. And so the whole team will be able to benefit from the Sales Navigator. Let's say you have one person in your team that have the Sales Navigator, then the person who has the Sales Navigator can automatically import prospects within the different members of the team. And also, lastly, you might, depending on the number of accounts that you want to take, you can have discounts, and for that you can go to the chat support and will automatically give you a discount if you have the right number of seats. I think that's about it. Just before we stop this webinar, I wanted to give you a small word on our next promotion, next offer. 30% off on all annual subscription this Friday. It only lasts 24 hours, so don't miss the deal. And also a word on our affiliate program. If you want to make money through Waalaxy, you can subscribe to our ambassador program, with which you will be able to get 50% of the revenue generated by your affiliates. So that's about it. Thank you, everyone, and don't miss the deal. Bye-bye.